Hello, everybody. I chose to do my presentation on the historical significance of major industrialization and significant inventions during the First World War. There were many major significant inventions that were created all around Europe and the surrounding world, which greatly impacted living standards, health, transportation, communication, and war machines. One of the first major innovations that ever came around during the First World War was the machine gun. The machine gun was very widespread come the start of World War One. It had become a very deadly weapon during the First World War One, as many people used the previous strategy of just running in the line of fire, as was seen with muskets and slower shooting weapons. Um, this had changed very significantly when the machine gun came out, as you were able to fire hundreds and hundreds of bullets all at one time, which really impacted the amount of people that were able to be killed by just a single person. Um, a quote I have from Causes of World War One, Part One, the video that we had taken, was: "The Second Industrial Revolution in Europe and the United States is stimulated from the development of military technologies. We see the mass production of weapons, particularly the machine gun, is going to play a huge role in World War One." It was as I said, a major innovation that changed the course of the entire war. Another move forward was with medical advancements, saving lives on the battlefield. Quite the opposite of the machine gun. Um, Many things were created and founded in World War One that had many major impacts that helped the survival rate, such as blood bags, tourniquets, and many other quick use medical advancements that would save many lives. I have another quote from Joseph Scott. One of the important developments was the use of widespread antiseptics and improved surgical techniques, which reduced the risk of infection and increased survival rates greatly. Um, this would overall major impact for every nation and a great move forward, as medical standards had progressed by an estimated 50% over the course of the First World War alone, which is a 5-year period compared to the rest of history. Many other technologies that were seen that had never really been seen before were things such as sanitation, washing hands, um, was starting to become more common, but wasn't a significant common thing that was done all around the world after the First World War. Many people realized just how important washing their hands was, which would end up saving countless and countless lives over the generations. The next point I have of another innovative technology during World War One was modernization of movement. This would be things such as cars, planes, really anything would drastically increase the speed. Many trucks were found during this time period as well, creating a much more wide-scale way of moving people, technologies, operations, anything like that. I have another quote from Scott Joseph. "The use of modernized transport during World War I significantly improved the mobility of troops and supplies, transforming logistics and operational capabilities." You pretty much were able to go from horse and buggy which would run at about 10 miles an hour, to a Jeep or a truck, which would be able to move at 40 to 50 miles an hour at the higher end. That greatly changed just how fast people were able to move across countries, getting to the battlefield, moving medical supplies, moving the injured. And even you'd see this in modern life as well, citizens moving metals and ammunitions onto their vehicles, which would allow faster resupplies and transporting more people. And the factories would also allow for heavier objects to be moved from factory to factory instead of everything have to be created at one. You'd start seeing a more wide scale effect where there would be more factories creating a certain thing instead of factories creating a whole product, which would overall, even though it sounds like it wouldn't, create a vast networking, which would help the spread of industrialization to other factories, creating more plants, more jobs, etc. And finally, arguably the greatest thing to come from World War One was just radio and communication. It allowed for extremely quick communications around the entire battlefield, let alone the entire world, as radio waves would move at the speed of light. It was pretty much instant, and the I mean, the first major innovation that we would see still being used today. Radio was never even replaced up until World War II, or even into the early 70s. This greatly helped our communication and talking. It was also much more secure than the telegrams, which would be taken over and captured multiple times. Overall, the radio was probably the most significant innovation of World War II. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my presentation about the innovations and technology revelations that happened in World War II. I hope you guys learned World War I. Sorry, I hope you guys learned something.